if I believe that they believe it, right?
You don't think he believes it?
They're at least, no, I do. I at least think that they're being authentic. You know what I mean? And
So
I
if
try
you're
to
an
actually,
authentic,
hang on, calm down, man. Let me explain the position. When I talk to guys like you, right, or people like Destiny or others like this, and they're like, Donald Trump's a fascist, okay? Obviously, I don't agree that Donald Trump's a fascist, but I do believe that they believe that. And so that's at least authentic. And so people build worldviews off of things that they believe, right or wrong. So I do think that you can be a very good person and hold really bad beliefs. I do. And I think that that comes out through character. I'm sure that you have, don't you brag all the time how many friends you have on the right? Don't you think that they hold horrible beliefs? They defend Trump. Aren't they defenders by your
no,
metric?
not the people that I consider friends. No, the people that I consider friends that are on the right are people that know that Donald Trump's a really bad guy. They admit that to me. And by the way, I won't mention names, but people that I was
So you
just
have
hanging
no
out with.
friends on the right that disagree with you?
Well, what define a no? Of course, I have friends that disagree with me, but I don't allow people in my inner circle that think that are cultists that think Donald Trump, Andrew, can do no wrong. Can you at least from a human being perspective, you would admit that at least.
Here, like I'll just put it this way. Let's say that you had a guy, right? Every single day he went and he like fed orphans, right? He took care of the homeless. He was always kind to everybody. He always helped out everywhere that he could. But he didn't believe that the H cost happened, right? Is that in and of itself enough for you to say that person as a person, even though they don't believe this thing, is a horrible human being just by itself?
I would have to have a personal conversation with them
Exactly.
and find out why they feel that way.
Exactly.
So,
that's my whole
I
point.
believe, so Andrew, I believe Myron Gaines, going back to him, is two-faced. I don't believe that he believes stuff.
He's the least two-faced guy I know. Honest. The least.
Okay, well, I see
fact,
the way
I
he
would say
is
this.
off.
Myron, yeah, I have too, right?
He's very different.
I spent a lot of time with Myron, and Myron,
I did as well.
This is my genuine feeling about Myron. He's one of the kindest, actually kind, not nice. Nice is fake shit. He's an actual kind man. I think that if I called Myron tomorrow and I said, listen, man, I'm in deep financial straits, right? I fucked up. I went and gambled and did a bunch of blow, and I completely crushed my livelihood, and I'm in bad shape. I think that guy would do everything in his power to help me. And that to me is not a friendship that I'm too eager to walk away from. Like, knowing that that's the case, it's really hard for me. Even if the guy says things I disagree with, I'm not disavowing him. I'm not getting that. People like that are so rare that you can barely ever find them, dude. Ever.
So Andrew, I hear what you're saying. I think you can have good qualities as a human being and still have some horrible qualities. I don't know how anybody could look in the mirror every day and just spread misogyny, bigotry, and hate and make money off it. I think it's very bad for society.
Well, I don't think he spreads misogyny and bigotry and hate for the most part. I think that, especially on the misogyny.
When you say women are second class, Andrew, when you say women are second class citizens, which by the way, they're not. This is the thing about the
Myron utilizes the ideals of force doctrine. He thinks that women have to appeal to the patriarchy in order to try to disassemble the patriarchy. And so from that position, men will always be in the patriarchy. That's what he means. Men will always be in the patriarchy. That's what he means when he says second class. He doesn't.
But Andrew,
Myron does not think that women are ontologically lesser than men. He doesn't believe that foundationally they're lesser human beings than men. He doesn't believe that.
I mean, he treats them as objects and objects.
No, he doesn't.
Only. Well, I can tell you that without getting into a conversation about what Myron really likes, but I won't get into that conversation with you. But when you use the F word, homophobic slurs, when you attack,
come on, man, that's like the worst. I know for sure, dude. When you were in high school, you were calling your friends the
Yeah,
F
but I'm
slur.
not okay. So first of all, I'm not in high school. He's a grown man, so
Yeah, no,
that's a
but
bad
why? But why
analogy.
was it
We're not
okay in
10
high
years old.
school? Why was it
Andrew,
okay in high school to be like, "Hey, F
okay,
slur"?
because there's something called maturity and respect for others.
Oh,
That's what it is.
you never
Uh,
call your friends like the F slur? You
no,
never
I
say
don't.
that?
No,
Oh,
I don't.
come
I don't use
on.
homophobic slurs because I think it's inappropriate and I think it's very disrespectful
It's
to
super
people who happen to
funny.
be
So it's
gay.
like when
I also, to you,
comics
it's
use
funny.
it,
To you, it's
are
funny.
they
Oh, yeah,
what about
but Myron
comics? What
Gaines isn't
about
a comic.
comics?
Myron Gaines isn't a comic.
Well, I think that he uses
Comics
comedic
make
effect. I
okay.
do.
Well, yeah. Well, he's all about clicks and money. And listen, here's the thing about Myron
No,
that
he's
I've
not.
noticed.
No, listen, I'm not gonna here's one thing I won't do. You can say what you want about Myron. Myron has thick skin. He doesn't care.
I know
Okay.
that.
But I'm not gonna let you mischaracterize him. I would probably 2 years ago maybe have thought the same thing. Maybe he's all about the clicks, he's all about the come up, he's all about the gimme that. I know for sure now that that's not the case. That Myron actually genuinely cares about the human beings in his proximity and will really go out of his way to take care of them. And that's not
Okay.
something I can say about almost anybody in the
Maybe the
entertainment space.
people, maybe the people in his proximity. But here's what I will tell you: I did a live debate in DC with Tim Pool, Myron Gaines. I talked to Tim yesterday, by the way. He said you're filling in Friday, not Thursday. You told me you're filling in Thursday.
I switched the
It's
day.
Friday. Oh, okay. He told me Friday.
Mhm.
Um,
By the way,
and
you can't expect me to remember such trivial details, Brian.
you got to lay off the booze, man. It's not
You
good for
think,
you, Andrew.
well, or maybe I'm just so busy going on the largest podcast in the world that I just can't be
I've done his
bothered to
show.
remember.
That listen, I took a lot of shit for saying a lot of nice things about Tim Pool and his people. They're very nice people. They've treated me with respect.
Yeah,
I flew out there.
his staff is fantastic, and Tim
Yes,
Pool
he's got
himself is fantastic.
But there's a lot of people on the left that refuse to do his show. I'm obviously not one of them.
That's because they
But there's
get wrecked.
Well, I would not characterize me going on there as getting wrecked, and I think Tim has
Oh,
respect for me.
come
But
on, dude. You lost that debate with him. Even you have to admit that. You lost the debate with Pool. Like, you at least think that, right?
in what aspect?
Oh my God, every aspect. He
Every
rhetorically,
aspect. Name
yeah,
me one.
he rhetorically beat you. He beat you on the facts. He
In
beat you on
specifically on
every
what?
single
On what?
capacity.
On what?
We can pull up the debate and watch it if you want.
I'm asking you. You're making the claim. You don't have to pull it up. Just tell me, like, how did he?
Yeah.
How
I
did he
think that
destroy me?
I think that Tim Pool, one thing that he doesn't get enough credit for, and I think that people think he's stupid and they are not correct about this.
Never said he was stupid.
That what Tim Pool does is he remembers little tiny factoids from like 10 years prior. And he has the unique ability to bring those things up in 5 seconds. Just like, bam, remember this in 2019, 2018. He can bring that shit up. It's almost, I don't know how the guy does it, but when he does, it's brutally effective.
Okay.
And
Well,
I recall
there's a lot of people.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of people that wouldn't characterize it. But when you went to use the restroom, this is the point that I was making. In that, if I'm debating anybody, in this case Tim Pool, if you're a Tim Pool fan, you're going to say, or you're on his side politically, you're going to say that I got dog walked. If you listen to me on a regular basis, or you lean to the left, you'll say that you destroyed him. That's why I don't really get into the I won the debate, I lost the debate. Here's what I will say. The video that went viral, the thing that went viral, Andrew, in that interview was when I called Donald Trump a 34 count felon. And there's context to that. I wasn't saying that they didn't raise it from misdemeanors to felons. Heck, I wasn't even saying that I felt like he was treated fairly. What I did say, and the only thing I said was, he is a 34 count felon. And if you think it was wrong, the jury got it wrong, they over prosecuted him, these were misdemeanors, okay, fine. I wasn't arguing that point. And he flipped out on me. And, he doesn't usually scream like that unless he's calling Candace Owens the C word. By the way, I do agree with him on that.
Bro, I've been in heated debates with Tim. And that's just Tim, that's the way he
apologized
talks.
To me after the show.
Yeah, Tim's like that. He's a nice guy, but the thing is like
he's a nice guy.
When he's debating, he's using an adversarial tone because you're in an adversarial conflict.
Andrew, I don't take that personally. I really don't.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we were fine. I mean, it's fine. There's a part of this that's a show. You know that. Okay. I don't know how
I actually try not to. Like, I always felt like the me that you get in person is the same me that you get here.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go up to somebody wearing a MAGA hat and call them a right-wing buffoon. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm
I
not
would go over to a left-wing person and call him a stupid woke feminist.
You wouldn't just go. No, I don't believe you would do that.
I really would.
Just randomly go up to a
I
stranger.
really
No,
would.
come on. No, Andrew, I do not believe. So you're telling me you would go up to a random stranger at a bar, and if they were wearing like a Kamala shirt, you would just insult them and go up to them? I don't believe you would do that.
Depending on context, but yeah, probably.
I don't think you. Well, come on. No, that's.
I might. You know what? I'd probably do it funny though. I'd be like,
"Who's
help
the
me Kamala
Andrew,
supporter?"
Okay, Andrew, I need your help.
Like yeah,
Can you help me understand something coming from your perspective? I'm serious. I went to AmFest. I was like the only person on the left.
Were you in
that
AmFest?
They gave a credential to? Yeah, they gave me a credential.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, you know I was out there. I debated Alex Stein, and
I didn't remember if you were actually at AmFest or you just did the debate across the street or whatever.
Well, I did both. Yeah. So they gave me. So they gave me a credential. So me and Jack Posobiec have had debates on Pierce, and Michael Knowles invited me to his cigar party, and like these people could not have been nicer to me. I did like 10 debates there, and I was actually taking away the people on OAN, and I do them now, right? And I'm
it's the same thing when people show up to DebateCon. I'll have the entire thing. I'll have a massive audience, live audience. Other than Destiny, I'm one of the few on the right who can just bring in a massive audience. And they're always shocked with my debate partners that no, it's the opposite. The truth is that the right is full of kind people. I made this observation at DebateCon. I remember Richard Carrier came over and he was like, "This is a blast." And so did my other opponent, Craig. He's like, "This is so much fun." I paid for everything, right? I had an open bar, invited him to the party. I paid for everything. I took care of everybody who was there. I thought it was the least I could do, especially for the audience who showed up, right? I paid for everything. And I remember sitting there thinking to myself, it's the difference between us. These guys feel comfortable enough with us that they'll play board games and have a good time and get drunk and they'll stagger on our shoulder up to the room. You don't feel like that when you're out with the left. And I know, because I've been out with them, and you're guarded and they're awful. And they do everything they can to make it as horrific of an experience as they can for you. I'm going to give you my proof. My proof that I can give you that you'll have to acknowledge. Do you remember what happened with Z in Unfuck America?
Yes, I do.
Z, we were in negotiations for the debate, never even had an agreement to a topic prompt, nothing. Immediately, these guys become as hostile as possible. They only wanted me to show up for a 20-minute debate and then do a bunch of Q&A for an hour and a half so that they could dunk on the audience, right? They basically treated us like trash. That whole left-wing organization treated me and Myron like trash. So we were like, you. We're never going to do another event with you people. Off. And why? What was the point of that? Like, what did that gain them or gain anybody? And that's what you get with the left. You get them being horrific and horrible. And what you get with the right is you show up to the event and you get the cigar bar and the alcohol.
Let me respond to that. First of all, I mean it when I say I probably have more friends on the right than the left. I have some friends.
Doesn't surprise me.
What's that?
It doesn't surprise me. We're the only ones who are trustworthy.
Well, there's a lot of people on the left that some on the right don't want to be a part of. I will also say that I had nothing to do with the communications between you and Z.
I'm not saying you did. It had nothing to do with
here's
you.
what
I'm pointing out
from
the difference of how right-wingers treat people versus left. It's night and day.
Listen, there are plenty of Republicans that are invited to the Democrat National Convention that are treated just fine. I've been to both. I've been to the Republican National Convention. I've been to the Democrat National Convention. I see it both ways. Now, you're making a generalization that everybody on the left, they're all just, that's not true. And listen, I think while I'm not a liberal and you disagree with, whatever, I don't want to get into that again. I obviously lean to the left on social issues, and I'm very anti-Donald Trump.
There's only two organizations that I've heard,
Andrew,
that even treat right-wingers well. One is the Young Turks. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm dating somebody who voted for Trump 3 times. So, the point,
but yeah,
I'm not like that.
There's only two organizations I'm even aware of that treat right-wingers decent as guests that I've heard feedback for. One is the Young Turks. I've been told that when guests go on there, they treat them extremely well, like behind the scenes and this and that. So credit where credit's due, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, that's what I was told. And then the other one, surprisingly, for guests. Well, I won't even name it, but it was surprising to me. But the point is like, that's it. That's basically it, dude.
I
Almost
have
everything else I get is feedback of like, it was
I know, but
hostile. They
Andrew,
were awful to us.
I just feel like you're making a gross, generalization on the
Well,
entire left,
name it like a left wing, podcast or place that has right wing guests
well,
on that actually treat
I
their
have
guests
more
well.
people, Andrew, I have more people on the right than the left on my show every day. I have people.
Yeah,
on,
but
I've
you're
had
not a leftist, right? I'm talking about left wing shows.
Andrew, I lean to the left. We all could agree. on
Oh,
that.
wait a second. Wait a sec. I thought you weren't a lib, right?
I'm an independent Andrew, I'm an independent that certainly leans to the left on social issues. I openly admit that. I've had Caroline Levitt on my show multiple times. I've had Robert F. Kennedy Jr. on my show. I've had Vivek Ramaswamy on my show. I have regulars on the right almost every day. But you know what it is, Andrew?
Sounds like you're like you're a leftist when it's convenient and then not when it's convenient.
No, I don't know. That's not true. I've never said anything on the air that I don't truly believe. But Andrew, I will say this. I don't want to interview people that I agree with because I think it's boring.
Do you take your guests out to dinner?
Sometimes.
You don't take each one out to dinner?
No. Well, here's the thing. Most of them are virtual, but when somebody comes to town,
no, in person.
Yeah. If they're willing to take the time out of their, like the Mooch, for example, Anthony Scaramucci came out. We grabbed dinner. I've had some very.
Did you pay for the dinner?
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
If they're willing to take the time to do my show, of course. Hey, I want to show them a good time. Okay. I can't name the network. Okay, I can't because I'll get these people in trouble. But I'm on a very right-leaning network on a regular basis, and I was hanging out with some of the guys in Vegas over the weekend from that network, and I treated them nice. I planned out stuff for them.
Well, hang on. You were hanging out with them from their network, right? So of course,
well, yeah.
What I'm talking about is when people engage with left-wing networks, they usually get treated like me and Myron did, trying to just negotiate an average debate with Unfuck America. And so the thing is like but you claim you're not a lefty. I'm talking about leftists here. This is the case that I find. Yeah, exactly. I wish you wouldn't say that you weren't a lib then. But anyway, the point is that leftists themselves generally treat the right extremely poorly. And usually when we invite people out to our shows, we treat them extremely well. An example, when I went out to Rogan's, right? It wasn't just Joe Rogan who was great to me. Me and my wife. He was so kind to my wife, unlike somebody I know. But anyway, he was so kind to my wife, right? Gave her all access pass behind the scenes along with me. We hung out with the guy for hours and hours and hours. He couldn't have been kinder and more down to earth or any of the comedians back there. Going over to like Brian Callen, another very famous comedian.
I know Brian. He's done my show.
Very sharp guy. When I went out to dinner, the first thing he did, and of course we're fighting over the bill. He goes over and he took care of the bill. I couldn't even big dog him. Right? Yeah. These are great people.
How many people are friends of yours on the left?
This is not the experience we get on the left.
Andrew,
don't get that experience.
How many big lefties have you gone on like their shows, or you've become texting with them?
How many big leftists even have people on their shows?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm one of them, but
well, I don't consider you to be a big left or a big creator.
But Andrew,
I don't.
Here's the problem, Andrew. It's like there's not many lefties that have guests and do what I do. I get after it with people on the right.
How are they going to get guests? They treat them all like shit.
Well, listen, I've had some very contentious interviews with some people. Byron Donalds, I got into it with him. Tatum, I don't want. Me and Myron had a 25-minute. He did my show, and we were respectful to one another. I mean,
who was
Myron? Myron Gaines did my show. Like,
yeah, of course. Myron's a great guy. That just affirms my point over and over.